What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new e-bike. This is the Wallke H9. This is a folding e-bike with dual motors, full suspension, and a very large battery as well. So taking a look at the bike itself, this is definitely a nice and sleek looking bike. I love the all matte black with a little bit of red accents. And then it also has a unique integrated rear rack, which I think also makes the bike look a lot better as well. So before we dive into the specs, I wanted to point out that this bike is currently on their Black Friday sale, and this is going from now to December 2nd. And I believe they're actually offering up to $1,100 off this model. I'll have the links and all the information in the description, but overall, if you happen to be interested in this bike, right now would definitely be the best time to get it. So as I said earlier, this is a dual motor e-bike. You have a 1000 watt motor in the back, another 1000 watt motor in the front, and these both have a peak of 1600 watts. So combined, you have 3200 watts of peak power. Dual motor e-bikes are by far some of the best bikes to ride, so I'm definitely looking forward to trying this one out in a little bit. Coming to the back, you have a huge 203 millimeter rotor along with 4 piston hydraulic brakes. So this bike should definitely have some very good stopping power. Looking at the wheels, you have 20 by 4 inch fat tires, and these are CST tires. As you can see here, we also have mag wheels. Compared to spoke wheels, these are a lot more maintenance free, as you don't have to worry about tightening up spokes or dealing with broken spokes as well. Coming to the back, this bike is powered by a massive 48 volt 60 amp hour battery. Just the battery alone weighs 28.8 pounds. Again, a very large battery, but this is going to give you a ton of range, and you don't have to worry about having range anxiety or going too fast on the bike and having to kill your battery too quick. And another thing I really like about this battery is it's UL listed. This is one of the first times I've seen a large battery like this be UL listed. Having this UL certification is very good to have, as this ensures you that the battery is actually a quality battery that was tested and meets the standards to have that UL certification. So with this battery, you're not going to have to worry about it breaking too early, setting on fire, or anything odd like that. Besides this battery, this bike also comes in the options to have a 40 amp hour battery or an absolutely massive 82 amp hour dual battery option. 60 amp hours is more than enough for most people, but if you're someone who rides a lot and wants to have that insane battery range, that's when you might be better with that 82 amp hours instead. As I said earlier, this is a full suspension e-bike, and you have a front fork suspension in the front and then dual shocks over in the back. Taking a look at the lights in front, you have a built-in headlight, and this does look like it should have a ton of brightness and output. And then coming to the back, you have a built-in tail light, which also lights up when you brake as well. As you can see, the bike also includes fenders and a rear rack. As I said earlier, this is an integrated rear rack, and this is the first time I've seen a rack of this style. Most bike racks only carry somewhere around 30 to 60 pounds, but this one carries a lot more at 110 pounds. As you can see, they do include a rear seat on here. Again, it carries 110 pounds, so you can easily carry a child or light adult on here as well. Coming up to the bars, you have a 7-speed Shimano shifter, a built-in electronic horn, a half-twist throttle. Over on this side, you just have your controller. And last but not least, right here in the middle, you have a very nice color screen. I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but this is a very good quality screen that looks comparable to a cell phone screen. Just very vivid and nice looking. So right here in the middle, you have your speed. Then you have your options down here. And you could cycle that through a few different things. Right here, you have your motor indicator. So right now, it has the rear one on. To change that, all you got to do is hold down this I button. Now it has the front one. And then it's enabled both of them. Then if you hold down again, it'll turn them both off. Besides using that, if you hold down the plus and minus, that'll bring you into the settings. And there's a few different things you can change in here. So first off, you have display settings. I have my speed limit all the way up. It did come out of the box for mine, set to that 62 miles per hour. So I'm not going to have to worry about unlocking it. Then you got a few other settings in here. Right down here, you have advanced settings. And this is where you're going to be able to fine tune the bike and get everything to your liking. Always good to see that. So first off, you have your assist levels, and this is very customizable. As you can see right now, I have it on 1 to 5, but there's also plenty of other different options you can choose from. Go back to 1 through 5. And once you click on that, you can also select the power you want for every single assist as well. So again, very customizable. So you can fine tune it and get it just the way you like it. Then you have a few different modes here as well. You also have auto mode for the motor, which is not something I've seen on any other e-bike as well. I'm guessing when it detects that you need more power, it'll switch into the auto mode and automatically switch that around for you instead of having to change it manually. So again, definitely nice to see all the settings that you can configure on this bike. And then last but not least, right up here, you have your battery percentage, which is read out by a number and this little battery icon here. Honestly, I would have preferred a voltage readout, as that's usually a lot more accurate. And another cool feature on this bike is it has both app connectivity and built-in Apple Find My. Since the Apple Find My is built in, if someone stole your bike, they're not going to suspect that this is in there. They're usually going to look for something like an AirTag somewhere. They're not going to see that, so they're just going to go about thinking they got the bike and got away with it. But little do they know, you'll actually be able to open up your app and GPS track where the bike is at and be able to locate it very easily. So definitely a very good security feature to have built in with the bike. As I said earlier, this is a folding e-bike, and in order to fold this e-bike, you have one lever that releases right here, and then you also have another one which folds down the bars right here. All right, so this is what it looks like folded up. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the easiest bike to fold thanks to how heavy it is, but it does fold up nice and compact. And as you can see right down here, it also has a little kickstand to hold it upright when it is folded. And last but not least, this bike weighs 113 pounds and can handle a max payload of 400 pounds. All right, so first impressions, I am definitely impressed at how easy this bike is to pedal. Considering that it weighs more than 100 pounds, you would suspect that it would feel like a tank under you, but as you can see right now, I have the motor off and I'm able to pedal this no problem at all. Even getting into higher gears, still moving very easily. It most likely isn't gonna happen on this bike, but if you forget to charge your battery going a long ride and you die out somewhere, you're not gonna struggle too much getting home on this bike. All right, going uphill, a little harder, but that's nothing to do with the bike. Let's go ahead and switch this on. All right, I might have to mess with the settings because right now on pedal assist 1, it's already pushing me at 18 miles per hour, which is not something you would want. As I showed you earlier, you can fine tune them to get them as slow or fast as you want. Ideally, pedal assist 1 will be somewhere around 9-10 miles per hour, a nice and slow cruising speed. And then since this bike goes above 30, I would probably put it around the speed it's going right now in pedal assist 1 and move that over to like number 3 or 4. And right now I have it set so there's only 5 levels, so it shouldn't be going that quick. But again, that's something you can easily fix in the settings after your first ride. Suspension feels really good. Going over some hard cracks here, soaking them up, no problem at all. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Going a little too quick for the sidewalk here, and slow it down. So yeah, definitely no complaints on the suspension, which again is definitely needed on a bike this heavy. As you can see here, well, hopefully you can see it on camera. Let me crouch down a little bit in case you can't, but there is an adjustable stem on this bike. So if you're someone that's really tall, you're gonna be able to ride this bike no problem at all. For me, this height right here is perfect, but just for reference, let me show you how high it can go. So it can go all the way up to there, which for my height is gonna feel like a lowrider chopper e-bike, so I don't want that. For me, it's good right about there. All right, let me go ahead and see what pedal assist 2 speed is at. So pedal assist 2 putting at me about 21, 22-ish. I felt the let up right there around 21. Pedal assist 3, and right now, as you can see, we're only going with the rear motor. All right, pedal assist 3, I felt the let up somewhere around 23-ish, 24. Ooh, it is cold today. I think it's about 35 degrees right now. I haven't ridden an e-bike in a while, maybe 2 or 3 months now. Just been too busy with work. Definitely feels good to get back on the e-bike though. Always a blast to just relax and ride around town. My typical ride is somewhere around 20-25 miles that I go with my wife, but like I said, just been too busy. Even though it's cold, still nice to get out here again. All right, enough with this single motor. Let me go ahead and switch this to dual motor, and to do that you just hold down the I button, and that's front motor. And let me go ahead and try that out. I usually don't like front motors on bikes. You can feel them kind of pulling you forward, and it makes it feel a little more squirrely to just move and turn. Yeah, I could immediately feel it. It feels like all the powers are in the handlebars, kind of. I'm sure there's a situation, maybe going uphill or something, where using the front motor might be more of an advantage. But for regular cruising around town, I prefer either just the rear motor or both motors. So let me go ahead and switch that into dual motor. This is where the fun is going to be at. If you have not ridden a dual motor e-bike, I'm telling you, it is a whole completely different beast when you get on a dual motor e-bike. There's just so much more torque, so much more acceleration. It just makes it feel so much more fun. Even if the bike doesn't go that fast, just the initial rush and torque that it has to help you get up to speed, it's just so much more enjoyable. Like even right now at lower speeds, I can just feel it just pulling me so much more. I wonder if the throttle is attached to the pedal assist. Let's go ahead and find out. All right, so throttle is attached to the pedal assist, which makes it easier to maintain and kind of cruise along without having to feather the throttle. So tops out at 18.5 on pedal assist 1. Switch it up to number 2. Ooh, good amount of extra torque there as well. Already at 22 miles per hour. Speed bump, let me go ahead and slow down. And these are very smooth and quiet brakes. I just did a quick stop from 22 right there, and I pushed on the brakes pretty hard, and I hear absolutely no noise from the brake pads. It sounds almost like I have a rim brake, like on one of those Walmart bikes. I don't know what they're called exactly, but the 2 pads that press against the rim. This has to be up there in the top 5 as far as quiet brakes go. At first I wasn't sure, as it felt very easy and almost a little mushy to use these brakes, but actual stopping power, definitely very good. Let me try it from a harder. Oh yeah, didn't even have to push on them very hard to get the tires to skid. Fantastic brakes, 10 out of 10. I could not ask for better brakes on an e-bike. Stops exactly when you want it to, and again, very, very quiet. Even when I skidded the tire right now, all you could hear was just the tire, and there was no brake noise at all. This is definitely a very, very solid bike so far. All right, pedal assist 3. Let's see how this. And I do have it unlocked already. I think the settings had it about 60 something top speed, which basically means let the bike go as fast as it can. All right, pedal assist 3 topped out at 25.7. Get a long stretch here. Hopefully we can reach it to the end and get up to speed. Pedal assist 4. Ooh, we are flying now. 29.5. Got up to 30. Let me go ahead and finish this run here and flip it around and test out the top speed throttle only. Yeah, it looks like it tops out at 31 on pedal assist 4. And man, does it get there quick thanks to those dual motors. If you have the option to get a single motor or an equal value dual motor, 100% go with the dual motors, as it's just so much of a funner experience. All right, pedal assist 5. Ooh, we are flying. $31, $32, $33. Woo! Oh my God, it is freezing now. As I said, it is cold out here. Once you are going 33, that wind is just gushing at you. All right, let me flip it around and see how much we can get going the other way. All right, here we go. 33 miles per hour the other way, so you can get a little higher. 23, 27, 28, 30, 33, 34. Looks like we reached 34.4 at the top speed. Still pretty windy, so I'm pretty sure in a more perfect scenario, you should be able to reach either 35 or 35 and a half, which is definitely pretty good, especially for only a 48 volt bike. 35 may not sound like a lot, but once you're on a bike actually going 35, it is definitely a lot of speed and more than most people would actually need. Of course, if you're someone who's used to riding Surons and things like that, then it might not be much, but for the regular rider, it is definitely a lot of speed. My wife's e-bike tops out at like 24, I want to say, but for her regular riding, she doesn't like going no more than 15, 16 maybe. Beyond that, she says it feels too quick and she feels like she's gonna crash into something, and it doesn't leave her much time to react basically, which is understandable because the speed is not for everyone. For me, a good speed is around 20 to 25. That's a good fast but cruising speed. And then above 25, it's still fun, but that's where you got to be a lot more alert and pay attention to what you're doing, because you can easily crash into something or do something wrong that ends up in a crash. But yeah, definitely a nice and quick bike. I wasn't sure what to expect since it only has 48 volt motors, but definitely surpassed my expectations. As I said earlier, this has a massive 60 amp hour battery, so regular riding, I'm gonna say you're gonna get somewhere around 100 to 120 miles. That's going a decent speed. And then if you're on pedal assist and not going too quick, you can easily get 200 miles plus. Even if you're going full throttle the entire time, you're still easily gonna get 40 to 60 miles out of the bike, which is a whole lot of range. On most bikes, if you're going full throttle, you can get as low as 10 to 8 miles, because when you're going full throttle, it definitely pulls a lot of power and kills that battery quickly. But with this bike, you can just enjoy it the entire time, going full speed, traveling a long distance, and you don't have to worry about getting battery anxiety or dialing it down to make sure you can make it home. And then, like I said earlier, if you're someone that wants to go on crazy extreme rides, or you don't want to charge your battery too much, they also have that dual battery option on this bike. Personally, 60 amp hours is way more than enough that I would ever need. Like I said, my average ride is between 20 and 30 miles. So I can easily go on 2 or 3 rides with this bike and still not have to charge it. I usually make that ride with a 14 amp hour battery. And when I get home, I got maybe 20% battery left. But for this bike, that's gonna be a complete walk in the park. So yeah, I honestly have no complaints about this bike. Everything performs very, very well. The speed, the brakes, the suspension completely surpassed my expectations. I have never tried a Wallke bike, but I am definitely on board with this brand now. Everything just feels very, very well made. This is definitely a whole lot of bike for the money. And as I said earlier, this is on sale right now for Black Friday. So if you want to get this bike, if you're interested, don't hold off. Right now is definitely gonna be the best time to get it. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.